In order to be more in our feminine, we need those opportunities where we can really embody and like being blah, 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 blah. Even though it's really good for the serotonin,
Yes.
it's really not so good for like feeling and being present. And so when we can get together and we can dance and we can move and we can really witness each other, then some kind of magic starts to happen.
Yes.
And it was only for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But we packed a lot in those 2 hours, and then people kept showing up.
Welcome. And excited to get into your story. And Jonathan's like, you got to have Anna. And I'm like, really? Like, yeah. I'm like,
What?
okay. I guess we'll have her on then. Sure.
Yeah, so I'd be curious to hear what Jonathan had to say.
I mean, he just said something about just the way that you're showing up for others and what you're doing just in general in your field of work is so unique and so different that the world needs to hear more of it.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to get into your story, a little bit about who you are, what you're doing. I'm going to turn this up a little bit because we have little ones, and my daughter's 6, Jordan. And we had Jordan here. We had Malachi in here. She's my nephew. And then we had Kaden. So Jen helps with Liftoff, and we do filming content on Mondays. And so sometimes they come over here and they start to play with stuff. So
Oh, you're like, oh, what does this button do?
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I can't hear myself. What is going on here? What happened?
Wait, what? Huh?
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, so thanks for coming all the way from basically Sedona, right? I mean,
Right.
2-hour drive.
Yes.
I hear the ring of the doorbell, and I'm in a meeting, and I'm like, oh my God, this lady, like, you always want to be respectful. You never want to be like, I gotta go, but I gotta go, And then I was like, my wife has a Mad Hatter party today, and I'm like, I hope her makeup's done, like I told you before we got on the air, because she gets, she's ADHD as well, and she gets really frazzled, and she has a lot going on, and I didn't want to stress her out, and I don't want my thing to have to pour into her thing because we do totally different things, but we also come together for some stuff as well.
Awesome.
And I'm glad you both had an awesome conversation and talk.
I know. I think I have a new best friend, so thanks.
Good. No, that's
We were just
awesome.
like, wait, you're this and you're that. I'm like,
San Francisco? What?
San Francisco? Tea?
Let's go. There's going to be events coming up. Reds and Tea. Shout
Right.
out.
I
Careful.
know. I was telling her that I have a new business partner and my friend, and we've been doing women's gatherings.
Ooh.
And we were doing it on Wednesday evenings.
Okay.
And it was really neat. We wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
Than the typical, get together with the women and sit in a circle and like pass around the talking stick.
Okay.
Because I have to tell you, because like your wife, I am on the ADHD.
Yeah, I read. I was gonna go back to your profile, but I read it. I read that
Right.
high ADHD, and I like how you said it's more of a superpower.
It is, if you want it to be. Yeah.
Yes.
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 So, for me, after like the third person in a circle, everyone starts to sound like Charlie Brown's teacher. It's like wah 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 wah, and I'm like, okay. And then it starts to get like therapy, and then people would chime in, and you're like, I really don't want to do this, and I want to go.
Yeah. I'm over this. Move on.
I'm really over this. However, I love the company of women,
Yeah.
and I love ceremony, and I love ritual,
Ooh.
and I love presence, and I actually love to be together with a bunch of people where we just sit in silence
I love that.
and and take reverence in the silence and like feel the silence versus fill the silence. And so I realized that women, in order to be more in our feminine, we need those opportunities where we can really embody and like being blah, 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 blah. Even though it's really good for the serotonin,
Yes.
it's really not so good for like feeling and being present.
Amen.
And so when we can get together and we can dance and we can move and we can really witness each other, then some kind of magic starts to happen.
Yes,
And it
I
was
love
only for like
that.
2 hours, but
Yes.
we packed a lot in those 2 hours, and then people kept showing up. And so
Wow.
my friend Athena and I have been doing these. It's called like a sisterhood sanctuary.
Okay.
And so we would bring in these archetypes of goddesses, and we would
Ooh,
connect
let's
it
go.
to
I like that. I like that.
yeah, and then we would connect them with a specific element
Okay. Okay.
and also a direction. Because I have
Mm.
a background in ceremonial in the Native American Red Road ways.
Really?
I do.
And now, is this your background?
It is. It's not something that I really
Are you
bring
Native
up.
American?
Well, let's just put it this way: we have the same ancestors.
Oh, okay. Because Jen, who was going to
Hmm.
be here helping with this podcast, shout out to Jen. She is Native American.
Okay.
Yeah, and so she was part of the tribe, the whole nine, and
Wow.
she was on our show. She got out and she was a cycle breaker out of her tribe and wanted to come into this world. But it's an interesting one here, right? Outside of
Yes,
being on the tribe.
it
But
is.
that's awesome. Go ahead, continue. I was just
Well, I'm actually half Thai,
okay.
and I was talking to Eugene Black Bear from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, because
Mm.
I had somebody who tell me you need to talk to this man because he'll tell you that all the Asians they came from across that land bridge and that we're all actually related.
Oh wow.
And so when I go up to the Northwest Pacific and I look at
Mhm.
the natives there and I look at them, I'm like, you all are Asian. Wow.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, maybe there's something to this. This is
Yeah.
true. And so, and then, when you look at the Tibetans and I guess in the Navajo or the Dene,
Mm.
they have similar language, similar
Mm.
words. They have like
Interesting.
similar ceremony. They're both into turquoise and the red coral.
Yeah.
Like there's all these interesting correlations.
Got it.
Same like with the Maori and then the Hawaiians. They're cousins
Mm-hmm,
basically.
mm-hmm. Wow.
So I've been a part of the Red Road for like, I don't know, like 23, 25 years.
Okay.
And so I wanted to bring a little bit of that connection without really bringing the ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
but bringing that sort of nuanced consciousness and awareness, because I feel like when we can just even just be aware of a direction or aware of an element, we're inviting that in, and it actually helps
Mm.
to hold the space.
Mm.
And it creates like the sacred container. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just wanted to bring in like the seven directions,
Mm.
and then bring in a goddess archetype that really matched what that element was that we were
Mm.
wanting to do. So we've done like despacho like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
ceremony where we had a friend come over and he dug a hole for us, and we brought like all of these offerings, and that actually really touched me
Wow.
because it just felt so good to give back to the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Because she gives us so much. She gives us everything.
Amen. Yeah. 100%.
And then we worked once with Pele in the
Mm-hmm.
fire,
Wow.
and we just helped to release and let go. And a lot of times I associate even that it's going to be intense. It's going to be really like really fiery, and it's just going to be super
Yeah.
intense. But you know what? It wasn't.
Wow.
Instead, it was very soft
Wow.
and very inviting. And I was, and this, a woman actually came to the ceremony, and she felt safe enough to actually tell her story
Aw.
about her time on Hawaii and how that touched her and how it
Mm-hmm.
healed her life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I realized, like, wow, like I think we're onto something here.
Yeah.
We're helping people just to even connect back into nature.
Yes. Yes. I love that. I love that. And so, rewinding just a little bit. So, first off,
Mhm.
tell the viewers and listeners a little bit, what are those different archetypes? Like, what does it
Mhm.
look like? The elements, like,
Okay.
so is that like wind, water? Is that
Yes, yes. Okay, so I now every tradition is different, and
okay?
even the same, like they can be Lakota, but they still have different elements for different directions
Mm-hmm.
depending on the tribe.
Okay.
But the way that I was taught was that east was air,
Okay.
and then the south was fire,
Okay.
the west is water,
Ah,
and the north is earth.
okay.
And then you have Father Sky, Sun, Moon, and Stars, and then you've got Mother Earth. And then you have the seventh
Mm.
direction, which is all of the directions combined and connected through the heart. Which is,
Wow.
if you
That's
think about it, that could be
beautiful.
ether.
Wow.
Hmm.
Okay. And then the event is centered around one of those.
Yes, like a
That's
direction with
beautiful.
an element, and then we'd connect to a goddess archetype that actually sort of felt in alignment with that.
Wow. Okay.
Hmm.
So let's rewind for our viewers and listeners out there so they can have a little bit of context. So like give them, I guess, your quick bio so they have an
Okay.
understanding. And then after you give them a little bit of context of who you are, I want to get into like the beginning and the catalyst to where you are today. You're right. Because I feel like ever since like COVID, little context, ever since COVID and what have you, like there's been a lot of changes and people I feel like are starting to like wake up more and they're starting to
Yes.
explore more. Like this podcast is exactly the catalyst for me to explore more. So I appreciate
Right.
you allowing me to have this opportunity with our viewers and listeners to be able to explore this world we're going to go down in this episode to maybe give you some enlightenment out there, right? So you
Yes.
can be able to maybe you want to check out Anna and what she's up to, what she's doing, or go to one of her events. So a little bit about who you are. So give them
Okay.
a little bit of your like your bio.
All right, here we go. Here's the big all the titles.
Wah
Okay.
wah. No.
Wah, wah. So it's Dr. J. Anna Namfan Reedy Imdesha
Let's go, doctor.
Stid. Doctor. Doctor. I'm a holistic chiropractor
Wow.
by day. And so that's where that came from. And then I have three last names because I was adopted as a baby.
Oh.
And so I have, I have had the opportunity, which is another podcast for another day, I'm sure,
Okay.
how I met my biological parents, which was a miracle.
You want her back? Comment
Yeah.
below.
Yeah. And so Reedy is my biological mother's last name,
Okay.
and Imdesha, my father, who is Thai, that's
Mm.
his last name, and then the name Stid is the name of the family that I grew up with.
Mm.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And Namfan is actually my Thai name, which means dewdrop.
Oh.
I thought it was raindrop, but then I just talked to my father like a few months ago, and he's like, "Oh, it's dewdrop." And I guess there's a thing with that with Buddha and dewdrop. So I was like, "Wow, that's neat."
We're gonna roll with that.
I know.
All right.
I've been reclaiming actually my heritage.
That's awesome. It's beautiful. I
Yeah.
love that. I
Yeah.
love that. That's awesome. And that's congratulations. And how did you even get into like doing the chiropractor side? Like, was that just something because you went through just traditional credentials? Then that was just what you've come to find as a passion, I guess you would say.
Well, here's my liftoff story.
Ooh,
This is my liftoff
let's.
story.
She
Okay.
knows.
Yep. Yep. So I was doing the whole corporate thing in Washington D.C.
Okay.
The belly of the beast.
Mm.
You know what I mean, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in Washington, D.C., in corporate America, in a gray cubicle under fluorescent light in front of a green screen, soul sucking my soul out of existence. And
Oh, where is it?
oh,
Next time that will be on cue.
woo. So I I went to two schools. I have this thing about like I go to this school for a little while and then I decide I'm going to change my major, something's going to happen, and then I
Mm.
finish up somewhere else.
Okay.
It's a weird pattern of mine.
Yeah.
So I started off at, FAU, Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton, Florida.
Yeah.
And then I went to GW because I changed my major to international business.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah. And so I was in Washington, D.C. area.
Okay.
And, I did the whole, the John Mayer song where you got it out of school and you realize like you went to school for what? And this has all been a lie. And oh my God. And
Do you feel that way?
yeah. So a friend of mine from Boca Raton area, she invited me down for like the 4th of July
Okay.
and down to Key West. And so I flew down there and she was in chiropractic school. I think she was in her second year out of 4 or 3.5.
Okay.
And so she's like, "Oh, well, let me adjust you." And I'm like, "Sure." I totally trusted her. I didn't know, like, she was brand new at this, right?
Oh shit.
And so, I didn't realize it at the time, but I was really ill.
Really?
Yeah, I was having all the beginning stages of like severe autoimmune
Oh no.
happening.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, Spirit's like, okay, we'll just take your little party girl, like Washington, D.C. self down to Florida. And my friend, she gave me my first adjustment.
Okay.
And it was one of those kind. I don't do the kind, but as much or anymore. Or I mean, I do a little bit, but
Yeah.
when necessary. And it was literally like someone had turned the light switch on, and I didn't even know that I was sitting in the dark the whole entire time.
Wow.
I was like, I just came online. Like, what happened here?
Wow. Let's go. It's one of those.
Yeah, it's one of those. But I had like this thing called Raynaud's syndrome, which just means that my hands were like this, like claw hands, and they were ice cold like all the time.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah.
And like my grandma would say, "Oh, cold hands and a warm heart," and so I associated that with like it's a good thing, but
Yeah.
it totally wasn't.
Oh shit.
And I grew up on a Monsanto farm to boot, so
Mm.
my body was probably really toxic with all the glyphosate, unfortunately.
Bet you the corporate American helped too with that, huh?
And the corporate America, so
Cubicle
you put
and
it all together, right?
wow, that's a
And
great recipe.
So that was my turnaround. That was my like turn the boat around
Wow.
moment. And I was just like, what is this? And whatever this is, I just want more of it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I felt warmth and like the sensation and like blood coming to my hands that I hadn't felt since I don't even remember.
Wow.
And so I was like, and it was to this day, I'm my friend's miracle patient.
Wow.
Like she tells everyone, like, this is why I went to chiropractic school. And
That's beautiful though.
it's really great. So I get to be her miracle patient.
Yeah.
And I was like, and after a year and a half of getting care, I remember going to this office in Old Town Alexandria, Virginia. And it was this couple and this woman, and they had this practice together, and they had a whole bunch of kids.
Hmm.
And I remember watching the kids because, like, growing up, I'd go to the regular doctor's office.
Yeah.
And I was probably one of those kids who were crying because we have to be there.
My daughter hates it.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh. And so I saw these 3 kids come in through the door and literally race all of them to get on the table first. I was like, what's going on here? They all like raced, like there was like 2 of them got in, one, did it, and that person cried because they didn't get on the table yet. and then the kids, they were so happy to be there. They were racing to get on the table. And then they were crying because they had to leave, not because they were there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it clicked for me. And I was like, whoa, kids get this. They get this. And I was like, there's something to this. And I remember my mom telling me growing up, because I'd give her massages and things. She's like, "Oh, you have healing hands. You have healing hands. You should be like a physical therapist, or something like that."
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, my friend, she's going to chiropractic school, and I'm like, well, I think that's what I want to do because I can't do this corporate America thing anymore.
Yeah.
It's sucking the life out of my soul, and I don't want to end up like the old ladies at the corporate place where I live, like where they just
No.
there's nothing there. They're just empty. Just like the lights on and no one's home.
Hello.
And so I'm like, oh, I want to help people.
Amen.
And so that was my turnaround moment.
Wow, dude, congratulations on that. That's amazing. Like, and hopefully just someone listening out there, what came up for me when you were talking about that is like a aha moment. I can imagine if you're out there and you're feeling the hand thing and the circulation thing, or your fluorescent lights and the cubicle, like, there's signs that are, and they're right in front of us, and sometimes we may not be ready for them to go down that road or whatever the case may be. But beautiful story, and I'm glad that you got that a moment to wake up. And if it wasn't for all the things that led up to you to this moment, we wouldn't even be here right now.
This is true.
Right, which is very beautiful. So now you go through that route, and then now you're traveling down this road. So keep taking us down this road that you're on with chiropractic, because now you're saying that like you're not even one that does the whole. I don't even know if I could do it like you did that, but because you have a holistic approach, which is so awesome to see the evolution, right? And I think the biggest evolution, and that's why I absolutely love this platform, is that it's less of, like you talked about earlier in the show, the mind, the chatter. It's less of the physical, the things you touch and feel, and it's more of the spiritual. It's more of the feeling. It's more of the nothing. There's and you're going. I can already
Mhm.
feel the conversation going down this road. So take us there. I want to hear more of it.
Okay. So, yeah, there's that, there's this place where I kind of, the older that I, the older I get, the more or the less I know.
Mm.
Right. And so, I think that's the wisdom. That's the paradox. And I realized that I'm not really here to learn.
Mm.
I'm here to remember.
Ooh. Hoo, hoo.
We're here to remember. I feel like that's what we're here to do. Is we're actually here to remember. And so, for whatever reason, I've definitely signed up for quite a curriculum in this Earth School time. And so, yeah, my path has unfolded in ways that I never thought possible.
Wow.
Right when I graduated, so my school unfortunately lost its accreditation
Oh, really?
in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And I was literally in 13th quarter out of 14, just about to graduate. And it's like literally like I'm already at the end of my rope.
Oh my God.
And I don't wish chiropractic school on anyone.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Wow.
And it's so rigorous. And luckily I was going through my Saturn return at the time to have the tenacity to be able to pull that off.
Yeah.
But it was literally, I was burned out already and I didn't want to have to start all over again.
Mm-mm.
But it was kind of like I had to hedge my bets and, I can either just start over and do 6 months over again, or maybe the whole thing over again if my school loses accreditation and I don't get any credits.
Oh my God.
So I literally had to hedge my bets. And I'm like, well, I have all these friends from different seminars that I've taken as a student
Mm-hmm.
over the years
Mm-hmm.
over in California. And to be honest, I've always, like, as soon as I was going to graduate when I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and Marietta area,
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to go right over to California. So I'm like, well, why don't I just go to school there? And
Okay.
I've got friends there.
Yeah.
And so I headed that way. And, I finished up in 6 months and took the extra thing, even though I'd already passed part 4 national boards,
Okay.
taken and passed it, and I was still in
Wow.
school. So basically, by the time you take national boards, you're a chiropractor.
Okay.
Like, the whole point of school is basically to pass the boards.
Got it.
That's what I figured out. And by the end of those 6 months, I don't think I was a human anymore. I was just
Ugh.
the PTSD of school and the trauma of I kind of lost my religion, like that
Aw.
REM song, right? Like losing your religion.
Yeah.
Like I kind of felt like there was a bunch of, hypocritical people who weren't in integrity, blah, 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 my story,
Yeah. Yeah.
that would allow this to happen. Because the
Mm.
only people that really got the brunt of the school losing its accreditation was the students.
Mm.
It wasn't the guy who founded Life University, but
Yeah.
we won't mention his name. And so, I was kind of a little bit of a lost soul.
Mm.
And because I was just burned out.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine was like, hey, as he passes me a joint. This is California after all, right?
Of course. Yeah.
And
You're
I'm
good.
like, yeah, okay. And he's like, hey, do you want to go see Dr. Epstein? He's speaking tonight at the school. I'm like, okay.
Let's do it. I'm down.
Then you're like, sorry. And so I go, and Dr. Epstein's speaking. And this man, there's something weirdly magical about this man.
Okay.
And he's speaking, and he's looking right at me, but he's like looking at me, and he's seeing right through me. It's like he can see my soul and see my imprint and see how I'm lost. And he's speaking to that.
Wow.
And I'm like, whoa. I always made fun of network spinal analysis.
Am I just high?
Am I just high? But I finally get it.
Holy cow. Best weed ever.
And I was like, there's something to this. And so he was having some kind of basic, and I went. And I'm like, okay, I'll give this a go. Because I was doing this other technique that was like sort of like a 180 from this. It was like called Gonstead. And it's very analytical, And very straight and very and like, network is very like kind of woo woo, but actually it's actually very scientific, it turns out.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
And actually there's like a lot of weird whoa, hey, whoa,
Whoa, there, getting
whoa,
crazy to the
hey,
mic.
what? Hands.
We need to have like, this needs to like hover, like, and have nothing attached to it. That'd be great. Yeah.
Right, like a little drone or something, like zzz, without the zzz sound.
Come from the ceiling. That could
Yeah.
work too. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Like oh, right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
2.0.
2.0.
Yeah. Always upgrading the podcast studio.
So, and I take the basic, and Dr. Epstein's there, and he gives me my first. They call them entrainments versus adjustments because you're working with a wave.
Interesting.
Instead of the pop crack, you're working with the wave of the body, and so you're working with a respiratory wave, and this thing called the somatopsychic wave, which looks like Kundalini yoga.
Ah.
And so I realized like this is this wave that like unwinds all of all the tension in your nervous system.
Interesting.
So it's different
Hmm.
and it's global and it's longer lasting and it like actually changes things.
Really?
Yeah. It's not like you go back for the same thing. You're working through a pattern and it helps you connect to the resource.
Wow.
And so the original premise of chiropractic was always to reunite your spirit with your physical matter. And so this is what I realized. I'm like, this is the closest thing that I found. And another mentor had talked about it, but he wouldn't mention the technique. But he said it basically he was in an awakened state for like 6 days,
Wow.
after getting a treatment. And I figured out this is what he was talking about.
Why you gotta be holding that secret,
I
dude?
know, it was so crazy because the woman that he was working with, Dr. Susan Brown, rest in peace,
God bless.
she was his right hand woman for a while, and then she went off and did her work
Okay.
called biogeometrical integration, which is the tree of life on the body.
It's badass.
And that work is so out of this world.
Wow.
And that's another story for another day. But basically, that I went through to BGI, and then I found Network where it came out of, and I realized the two actually coalesce together. And everyone who's done BGI and then has done Network understands that.
Interesting.
And it's almost like the work of Dr. Susan Brown actually helped open the field and create the field for what, Dr. Epstein is doing now, though he'll never admit that. So shh.
I just love how you're connecting the dots though with doing just being an observer.
Yes.
I love this. Keep going. This is awesome.
It's super cool. And so I'm like, okay, I'll give this a go for like 6 months. I'll do it for 6 months. I'll go to this guy, Dr. Michael Kubi, who changed my life forever. God bless that man.
Wow.
I had so much tension in my nervous system. Like, I like imagine being just so wound up, like a toy that's super wound up, and then compacted.
Oof.
Like, and it was my like when I lived on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Like you could say I was maybe a little bit of a type A personality, but I wasn't like a type A. I was like a triple A.
Whoa.
And so going to California, like it was like an opportunity for the pendulum to kind of swing the other way. And so he was always trying to get this specific pattern where, like I said, it's kind of like you're wound up. Imagine being wound up, then stretched to the max, and then having your whole spine compressed.
Holy moly.
That was my pattern.
Wow. So I can imagine like you from where you were to where you are now.
Yeah.
You're not even the same person.
No, I mean I had to have so much control in my life because we all have a past and a background and trauma and all the things, but that was how I got through things. And on top of that, come to find out, I'm a little neurospicy. And we like they're finding out now that women like me, we mask, and I got really good at it, which means I had to but everything had to be like a tight control in order to pull that off because my brain doesn't really work like neurotypical people.
Very interesting. I'm actually thinking about my mother-in-law, And some of the things that you're pointing out is
Mhm.
kind of like how she is now.
Mhm.
And she was in corporate for a very long time.
Mhm.
She just got married. I was my Melissa's father's best man. And so there's maybe some connecting happening after our show today
Uh-huh.
because I can already see that. Not only that, I don't know, viewers and listeners out there. I mean, I was just imagining as you're talking what you're talking about. I was just like, holy cow! Like, got me super interested in this
Mhm.
whole philosophy, ideology, and more importantly, just like the actual treatment itself. But go ahead, keep going.
Oh, this
These are cliff notes.
this is going to get really interesting.
All right.
So we go to this thing. So Dr. Epstein has these things called gates.
Okay.
And so you have like hundreds of people in the room getting this work done called, network and spinal analysis and entrainments.
Hmm.
And because we're working with wave dynamics,
Mm-hmm.
for all you physics buffs out there, when you have more than one wave, they amplify. And so
Mm.
you got hundreds of people getting the care. It's like getting 6 months of care in like 2 days.
Whoa.
And so, unbeknownst to me, you have to have like a special. You have these little travel cards that you go around from table to table, and then you get like six treatments,
Mm-hmm.
3 each day,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go to the table, and the practitioner will write on your card.
Yeah.
And so Michael, he was like, when you get to your fifth entrainment, go see Dr. Epstein. He's
Mm.
the founder. And so I didn't know you had to have a special stamp to do that.
Interesting.
So, and he knew that, but he didn't tell me that.
Of course not.
And so, I watched this beautiful couple on the table, and he's behind her, and they're doing this thing called like stage 11, and she's pregnant. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And the table opens up, and I'm like, I think I'm supposed to go to that table. And so I go to the table, and I lay down, and I get this sort of like all this like this feeling, and I'm like, maybe I'm not really supposed to be here, but I'm supposed to be here. I'm not really supposed to be here, but I'm supposed to be here. Like the doubt starts to creep in, and then Dr. Epstein comes over in his like, Northeast New York accent. He's like, "Are you ready, sweetheart?" And you're like, "Oh my god,
Is this happening right now?
is this happening right now?" And so he gets what we call like your C5, which is at the base of your neck here,
Mm-hmm.
and your coccyx. And so your C5 is like, if you ever see those people, like those old people with their necks out like this,
Ah,
you
yeah.
know, and then their tails tucked,
Yes.
and you're like, they look like a C, like a,
We've seen those. Yeah.
yeah. So that's indicative of someone that's been under a lot of stress.
Wow.
That was me.
Wow.
And so, he did the entrainment thing, and then he like flip over on your back, and he got my tailbone, right? He got my coccyx.
Mm.
And I went out of body at that moment. I was having like pretty much like an out of body experience at that moment.
Wow.
And imagine it's like I'm on my back, and all I can hear is this whoosh, 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 and it was like stacks of stuff just flying off my heart.
Whoa.
And I was like, wow. Like I was like, the rest of the room, but the rest of the room, all they heard was what they heard was me screaming bloody murder.
Whoa.
But what I heard was, it was a very surreal experience.
Wow.
When I got off the table, my hair was like a big rat's nest, and it was kind of like that feeling of the afterglow. And I never knew how much of a prisoner that I had been in my body because I was finally free for a moment.
That's that's phenomenal. And before we move on, I just want to pause for a second and just give individuals a perspective.
Mhm.
And that's why this platform is here, and that's why we're going down. And I want this to be organic, like we were connected organically. This isn't. I'm not out there like run a bunch of ads, get a bunch of guests. Like it
Yeah.
has to be something that just. And I'm so grateful for Jonathan, and you
Yeah.
all need to check out his podcast and check out him as well,
Mhm.
for connecting us, even make this
Yeah.
happen. And I can imagine someone's out there right now
Mhm.
and they have no idea whether either it's their grandparents that
Mhm.
have the C or themselves that are
Yeah.
bent up and they
Yeah.
have no idea and they're holding on to all this stuff.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're watching this right now, just cliff note for a reason. So, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, also, you're great with sound effects.
And
Wow, like, gee, like, damn, she's got it
I
down.
had an older brother and some cousins, and so
It's good. It's good.
I was always the
So,
tomboy.
yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
Mhm.
So then, I mean, what happened at that point? I mean, I can't even imagine how you feel. I mean, and then also what's next?
Yeah. Well, then I was like, I think I'm gonna do network for the rest of my life. Still doing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I mean, I can imagine you probably go through moments like this
Mm.
with others.
Yes. Yes. I have seen so many amazing transformations of people,
Mm,
where like they're like this, where the head's forward. Of course, in the San Francisco Bay Area where you and I have lived,
yeah.
a lot of techie people, right? So they have the tech neck, where the neck is like all the way out here because they're always on the computer, on the cell phone, whatever.
Yes.
And so I had this one guy, and he had like 5 or 6 inches forward,
Whoa.
and he was like in his early 30s,
Oh.
and I was like, whoa, this is really bad posture,
Yeah.
and he's so young.
Oh my God.
But like within a year and a half, not only was his neck and his posture like upright, after we got him to like, it was kind of like what Tony Robbins says is like the difference between, so the opposite of, or enemy of good is not bad, the enemy of good is great.
Mm,
By the way, Tony Robbins uses this technique too.
I love it.
And so it was that. Because
Okay.
when we got him through, like, I guess the rehab part of it, he was like textbook, right? Like
Hmm.
he had that perfect posture where the ears were over the shoulders, over the hip points, the knees
Yeah.
down, like it's like a plumb line straight down.
Wow.
But then when we got him to the like what we call, where there's like discover, transform, awaken. When we
Hmm.
got him to the place of awakening,
Mm,
so people actually utilize this technique beyond just like, chiropractic physical stuff. They actually utilize it to expand their life and their capacity.
mm,
And so it's literally the difference between like when your neck is forward like this, you're literally looking out for danger
mm,
unconsciously. But when that comes back, then it's like there's like a more of a neutral place. But where you really actually want to be is your heart, is what leads forward.
mm.
And when we were done with him, his heart was way out here and his head was way back. I mean, it was so palpable.
Wow.
It was like, this is like great. This is good, but this is great. And then he was a startup guy for Square.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
And he quit his job at Square and he moved to the East Coast and started his own company after that.
Wow.
So
Congratulations
that
to
was like
him.
amazing. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. And I think, and that's why I'm curious too, to definitely talk more about your practice
Mhm.
personally off air. And I think that's what I'm committed to. I don't know anyone who else is
Yeah.
viewing and listening can relate to this. I love
Mhm.
expanding capacity,
Yes.
the ability to take yourself to new heights where, for me, we'll say as an example for viewers and listeners out there, if one can do something in a week, I want to do in a day.
Hmm.
As the and the capacity from the perspective of also still feeling like, okay, like, like, I'll, for example, earlier this week I had a really strong Tuesday. I was like, oh my God, I'm just like, you're just like maximized, right? And then I got to be careful sometimes because the next day I'm just like, I'm a little tired
Recovery.
today. It's like,
Recovery.
why did I go so hard yesterday? But I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. So that was just a cliff note, but
I love that.
yeah, no, that's amazing, and that's where I feel like there's so much more for people to explore that have no idea
Right?
like this even exists.
Yes. Yeah, it's
They can bring it closer and get
get a little
cozy.
closer. Okay.
Yeah.
Like Big Red. Okay. So you can tell what generation I'm from.
Yeah, that's all good.
It's all good. I'm not a millennial.
Aw.
I just look like one.
Exactly.
Um
No
so
stress over here.
yeah, I got that released. So yeah, and so I was working in Beverly Hills and Marin for a while, working with Tony Robbins Platinum members.
Oh, so you went to the Tony
No,
Robbins.
no, just like
You just work on the
Dr.
members.
Yeah, Dr. Epstein was working with Tony Robbins, and so
Ah,
Tony Robbins is getting the network care, and so all the platinum members wanted to get network care,
of course.
and so there's a practice down in Beverly Hills and in Marin, and so we were actually working with his with Tony Robbins platinum members and
Okay.
basically helping them expand their life.
Okay.
They were there to like kind of get through all like the first and second stage so they could get to
Yeah.
that third one,
Yeah.
which is awaken, expand.
Got it.
And so basically, yeah, when you learn how to self-regulate, which is like a huge thing. Most people don't understand about healing modalities. They're like, well, I did all these things and it just didn't work and blah, 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 blah. Well, the reason being is that when your body is in a constant state of fight or flight, that's its MO. Like
Yeah.
we're designed to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know how to self-regulate, if your nervous system doesn't know how to self-regulate and turn on and off properly,
Yeah.
that's where all of your time and energy is going to go.
Wow.
And so until you teach the body to learn how to self-regulate and how to like turn the off switch off,
Mm-hmm.
you can't heal
Mm-hmm.
properly.
So, not going too deep, but
Mhm.
just elementary, like what
Mhm.
would that look like for a viewer or listener from the perspective of the
Mhm.
on and off regulations for someone
Mhm.
just to maybe just get a little bit of a understanding?
Okay, so one of the first things, so because I again I'll go back to like I work with the healing waves of the body.
Okay.
And so if you ever watch a baby,
Mm-hmm.
if they didn't have a lot of birth trauma,
Mm.
watch the baby and they'll breathe from their tailbone all the way up their spine and back down, uninhibited.
Mm.
If you watch most adults, they maybe breathe from like the small of their back.
Mm.
And they're not breathing all the way up and all the way back down. And what that means is that you're getting all the information from body to brain and back. You're getting, so it's like imagine if you're breathing from, this much versus this much
Mm-hmm.
twice over.
Mm-hmm.
This is how much information that you're getting to make your decisions
Mm.
versus this much.
The crazy part is that's connected.
Mhm.
As the individuals think it's separate.
Right. Well, this is your capacity
Mm-hmm.
versus this is your capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So which one would you rather have?
I mean, come on, I want that. It's interesting. As contrast, we do money motivation, and we did a breathing technique,
Mhm.
and I wanted just to challenge the team with it. And some went through it and were getting really dizzy, or they only had the capacity to get through so much of
Yep.
it. Others had traumas coming up
Mhm.
because of high school. Used to be in the band, my partner Smith, and it was interesting to see that
Mhm.
because I'm a big component of I have the red light panel in the gym there, and I do the Wim Hof breathing.
Nice.
That's something I do every single morning. And then I've dabbled with other types of breathing as well. And it did take me some time to get to that point to get to the expansion from a breath perspective to give you some contrast
Yeah.
with what we're talking about here. And I don't know, would you say for people out there maybe to even try something like a breathing technique? Would that be something that they could do maybe as a practice today just to see how much expansion they have, or is it completely different than that?
Well,
Just curious also for myself.
yes and no.
Okay.
No being that sometimes you're giving the keys to the Ferrari to a 5-year-old.
Mm,
And yes, that you're actually introducing them to something
mm.
where like at least they can take a first step.
Love that.
So I can show you right now something really easy that
Yeah.
you can do. Like literally just take your hands
Mm-hmm.
and just put it right on your heart.
Mm.
So you have your vagus nerve. That's one of your 10 cranial nerves that goes down the front of the body and connects to all of your glands.
Mm.
And it's literally the on and off switch between of your autonomic nervous system between your sympathetic and your parasympathetic.
Mm.
And so like just doing something simple, because sometimes if you're doing like the breathing,
Mm.
you'll notice some people will start to go into the trauma or their body will start to freeze up
Yes.
and then they get the claw hands, whatever. Well, basically that's energy leaving the body so fast that it's like you have a clogged tube and it can't push back past that.
Ooh, okay, okay.
And so if they're not prepared to deal with that trauma in that moment, then you got something on your hands.
Ah.
Whereas like maybe just start really simple and you can just breathing in your nose and out your mouth
Mm.
is the breath of connection. If you breathe in your mouth and then
Mm.
out your nose,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
what's called the spirit breath connection.
Yeah.
And so that's more of an expansive breath.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're wanting to like expand, you can do that. But if you're not really in your body, you don't really need to do that more. You need to do the opposite. You need to get in your body.
Got
We're actually here to have an in-body experience,
it.
not just an out-of-body experience. And so if you put your hands like right above, right underneath your collarbones, but above your heart, that's a really a big place where the vagus nerve really hits, kind of like right over the right over the breastplate here. And you just breathe in your nose and then out your mouth. And then you just notice the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in and then out. And breathing in your nose and then out your mouth. And already, like, you probably start to feel a little more relaxed.
Mm.
And you can do that right over your diaphragm, too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is another place that you can check in. And you just breathe in your nose and out your mouth. And another one is right over the belly button.
Mm.
Yep. And breathing in your nose. And then out your mouth. And you can just check in with those three places. And that is literally, this is a technique called somato respiratory integration. So it's body, somato, and respiratory breath integration. So just breathing in your nose, out your mouth, like right underneath your collarbones, right over your solar plexus,
Mm-hmm.
and then right over your belly button. And then you'll notice, like, after you do this for a few times, you're going to actually notice, like, one of these three places actually feels the easiest,
I felt
the
that.
most calm. And then you'll find another place where it feels a little like chaotic, or a little bit like, can we just, you just want to move on from that place.
Yeah, interesting. The top felt like I had to really focus
Mm-hmm.
to get the expansion.
Yeah.
The center felt like the less like the like
Mm-hmm.
I did it, but it was a little harder. I
Yeah.
needed to focus on that area a little bit more to get the expansion, and the stomach was the easiest.
Yes.
So just I want to go through this for you guys, so you can kind of
Yeah.
I'll be your test subject
Okay,
here.
test out. Okay. Okay, cool. So let's go to so as the saying goes, your energy flows where your attention goes.
I love that quote. Let's go. That's one of my favorite ones. Uh-oh. Let's see here. We made you to, we're already still recording here, but
Okay.
let's go ahead and just name this Anna. And then, of course, we need to go back in and, well, we're already good. We're recording here and over there as well. But
Okay.
this is full. So good that
Oh,
we have three different options.
no kidding. Okay, great.
Yeah, we're good to go.
And so we're just gonna, I call it watering your garden.
Yeah.
And so when you go to water the garden, it takes a minute to fill up the bucket, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to use the bucket analogy to for this particular instance. And so you're going to spend more time filling up the bucket. And then when you go to pour it out, it doesn't take as long, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to fill up the bucket with a place that felt really good for you. So go ahead and just fill up your bucket like with 2 or 3 breaths in your nose, out your mouth. That's it. And breathing in your nose and out your mouth. In your nose and then out your mouth. Now imagine that your bucket's all filled up and go to that place where which of these two felt like that needs the most attention? Didn't you right there? So you're just going to spend one breath there, like breathing in your nose and out your mouth, and you're going to dump the bucket there. Ready? Just breathe. And now you're going to go right back and go fill the bucket back up.
Oh.
Yeah, so go fill up the bucket. Yeah, that's it. Now, as you're doing this, as you're breathing in your nose and out your mouth, see if you can actually push your stomach into your hands as you're breathing in your nose. And then actively suck it back as you breathe out your mouth. So, we're just going to add another little layer to that.
Ab workout.
It makes it really focused.
Interesting.
And now you're going to go dump the bucket, breathing in your nose and out your mouth. And just check in. You're like, is this a little different?
Yeah, I felt a little better.
A little better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's exactly what you can do. I actually did this when I was rock climbing somewhere in Yosemite,
Mm.
and we were about 45 minutes from the car, and I sprained my ankle.
OMG. Jeez Louise.
And so I did that exercise, and I was able to get up and walk afterwards. So I'm a firm believer
Wow.
of SRI now because of that.
Wow. Very, very interesting. And just for the editing team and also you out there, please don't do this and drive. Don't,
Yeah, don't do this while you're driving.
yeah, don't be driving,
You can
relaxing.
do it in the line in the grocery, or if you're a passenger, but definitely not when you're
Mm,
driving.
interesting. There's things that come up for me, and I don't know if anyone else that can relate to this, is that I will challenge myself to a point where I will feel either the nervous system isn't regulating properly and or like I mentally have worked so hard that
Yeah.
physically I need to balance the nervous system.
Yes.
So like whether it's like I need to do a breathing session or I need to get out and ground or do something in the body and mechanical side. So for example, for me throughout the week, that's my place behind a desk and have all these lights and all the things, right? And then on the weekends, I like to do anything I can to like get out in nature or use my
Yes.
hands or
Yes.
build or whatever.
Yes.
And so I can imagine this could also be a practical thing you could utilize to then re-regulate, down-regulate, and get yourself to a place where you're like, okay, now I can get out of the head space,
Yes.
get into the body, realign.
Yes. Yeah, this
Okay,
is like a great exercise. There's actually 12 different ones,
nice.
and this is the first one. And this is really just helps you to center and to ground and like actually get connected and back into your body. Because a lot of times
Mm,
when we're in this place of overwhelm,
mhm,
you really actually shut off your capacity to access your higher thinking brain,
mm,
your higher cortex brain,
mhm,
which is what is your thinking brain, your rational brain. And so when you come back to center and you ground, then you're able to like turn off the fight or flight response or the freeze response or the fawn response even
mhm.
and come back to being able to like rationally think. So the idea is that you want to come away from reacting and more towards responding.
Love that. For me, it sounds like, and if you could relate, we'd love to get your feedback in the
Mhm.
comments section below. It seems like just taking more responsibility
Mhm.
and how many can relate, oh, it's because of the traffic. Oh, this happened to me, that happened to me, all the things instead of happening to you
Yes.
for a reason for us to be able to like, let's wait and stop for a second. And that's where I feel like, a true leader starts from within,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
so a true leader is leading yourself.
Yes.
And that's why, selfishly and also wanting to lead by example for our viewers and listeners, I wanted to take responsibility right now.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yes.
and because it's beautiful that you took the time to drive 2 hours to be here for another 2 hours to drive another 2 hours back. So that's 6 hours. Right. So I wanted to make sure that I really received, what you're giving and really lead with examples for you all.
Yeah.
Right. So we
Yes.
can all lift off.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I love it.
Download.
Download. You're like, now, yeah. See, yeah, and you just so self-regulation is like step one,
I mean, I feel way better. I feel
right?
relaxed. I feel just and then right before we got started, my wife was doing she was resonating out there because she's about to do her show
Yeah.
or her event. So she was doing the drums. I heard it, and she was doing the sound bowl, doing the resonance. I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, there's so many ways to self-regulate. I mean, you can hum. You
Yes,
can
that's
hum if you're in the
beautiful.
car and you're like, oh my gosh, in the traffic. You just start humming or singing. That actually activates the vagus nerve and it
Mm,
like gets you out of that fight or flight and more into the parasympathetic,
yes.
which is like step one. And then in like step two,
Mm-hmm.
basically, we help your nervous system expand its capacity.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we have like these little, since I'm from Sedona, I'm going to use this technical term,
Okay.
chakra. Chakra. So we call them spinal gateways, but they're like little vortexes or little chakras along your spinal column.
Okay.
And so we'll go to those places and it'll actually teach your body how to do neuromuscular reprogramming. Say that
Mm.
5 times fast. So, and what that does, it like just opens up your nervous system's capacity between the brain and the body connection
Okay.
to expand its ability to hold. something.
Mm.
So really, your ability to expand and to grow has nothing to do with like just the mindset. It actually has everything to do with its nervous system regulation
Mm.
and then your ability to expand your capacity. And so that's why a lot of high-end people love network care because it teaches their body and their nervous systems to handle it. They basically learn how to respond versus react. And when you're
Mm.
responding to your life, you're not really the victim of it anymore.
Mm.
And so even like the little like it's so amazing. Like people will come in and like, well, I still have that nagging headache or this like thing in the back, my neck, blah blah blah. But that thing, that woman or my coworker doesn't really bother me anymore, I've noticed. So we ask those questions, right? Because it's all about the nervous system taking what the highest priority is or what the capacity is to be able to deal.
Mm.
I'll never forget the story from Dr. Epstein, and he spoke about this man in his office that would come in, and like the mothers would hug their children a little closer.
Interesting.
Like there was just like sort of an aura about this man that was just
Yeah.
like keep away from him,
A little off.
little off, and he was in there for back pain.
Okay.
And so this is like a really great dynamic to understand this.
Okay.
And so after like 6 months of care, uh, they're having a reassessment, and the man's like, "Well, I still have." I'm like, it's better, but it's still there."
Mm.
But Dr. Epstein had noticed was this man's affect. Like
Mm.
when he came into the waiting room, people weren't hugging their children a little closer, or animals weren't like like flinching off to the side. Like the animals were coming up to him, or the kids were playing with him, and he was talking with people, and he was engaging.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't have this aura of like stay away from me. He had this aura of like engagement that he hadn't really shown.
Mm.
And so sometimes things in your healing will show up in different ways than you expect.
Mm.
And so when the man, was confronted about, what was going on for him, and he had brought his wife and his little kid, and so Dr. Epstein turned to the child, his son, and he said, "So what do you notice about Daddy since he's been under care?"
Mm.
And what he said, floored a lot of people. And the little kid said, "Well, he stopped beating Mommy and I."
Whoa.
And the man started to bawl.
Wow.
So sometimes your healing takes a different priority than what you came in there for.
Mm.
And so sometimes it's there to heal your life and the people in your life.
Mm. Beautiful.
Yeah. So that was like, wow. That was just a different perspective.
I mean, it's amazing to get that perspective, and I just want to take a minute to thank you for it because it's well received. And I feel like a lot of individuals out there may just had a moment like I just did, where I'm like, whoa. I obviously don't beat my daughter and or my wife, cliff note. But outside of that, it's like it's interesting because the body can then cause, like you said, if you're the victim,
Mhm.
then you're going to affect not just others. Like it's
Yes.
amazing to think that how interconnected it is, and then thinking about the mass population out there that then do things like
Mhm.
drugs, alcohol, weed, you name it,
Yeah.
to then suppress
Yes.
it is instead of taking ownership and not becoming the victim and becoming free from what you're talking, what you're saying.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing story.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so once we get the person to expand their ability, what's really cool is that we open up all these like little gateways, chakras, vortexes, whatever you want on there around along the spine.
Mm-hmm.
And this opens up your resourcefulness and your ability to connect yourself and to others.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps you to get to the deeper layers of healing. Like you're past like the acute stuff. Now you're working on the deeper chronic stuff. And this is really what's holding people back.
Mm-hmm.
This is why they're not able to move forward in relationship or in their job. They're kind of stuck in the same place. So this is like kind of expanding you beyond like, what Albert Einstein said. You can't solve a problem in the same consciousness in which it was created. And so this is the ability to expand so that you can actually create solutions in your life.
Wow.
Yeah, soul solutions. Soul being the operative word there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And then once you have that ability, then it's just like, well, we want to be limitless, humans with like maximum potential. Let's go.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite kind of person to work with.
Well, you're looking at them because it's crazy. Like everything in life happens for us for a reason. I don't believe in coincidences, and that's why I feel like maybe even Jonathan connected us,
Yeah.
right? And
Yes.
that's why he said you probably should be on the show because, that's my goal. Like I was thinking, like with this show, it's like I want this to be bigger than Joe Rogan. I want this to
Yeah.
be something that can really be a catalyst for humanity to really
Absolutely.
be able to think about things in ways that maybe they'd never even thought about before. And it was interesting because for me, and I don't know whoever's viewing and listening, what comes up for you, mine is stomach. I get the stomach pains.
Okay.
Now it's not consistent, and it's been a long time before, and then I was diagnosed with colitis, and then I
Mm-hmm.
worked through that.
Mm-hmm.
And then most recently, I was under a lot of stress because diversified a little bit and be careful, focus on the one thing out there.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, stresses happen.
Yes.
And, I lost control of the regulation. And
Uh,
then my stomach started to flare up again. And I
yeah.
started having stomach issues
Mm-hmm.
again. And my wife and I were talking about maybe what could it be? And also
Mm-hmm.
maybe that I'm also holding on to traumas because one thing that happened to me,
Yeah.
we all have traumas, right? I was having dinner with my grandfather and my mother, and my grandfather was eating Mexican food. We're all eating Mexican food, heartburn, didn't have heartburn medication. So we used to always sit on this one chair. And he
Mm-hmm.
had like a TV here and a TV there. We'd watch different sports or whatever else. And so he lay down on the chair, and then she went to the store, and I'm on the couch here. Well, lo and behold, he had a massive heart attack, and I'm 7.
Wow.
And so he passed away in front of me, and my parents try to ask me, like, do you understand? Or you understand what happened? And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I said yes, so young, so I don't even know to this day, like maybe how that affected me at that point. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yes.
So many years later, but the wife and I were talking like, hey, maybe there's something deeper inside,
Yeah.
because also too, I don't know who can relate to this as well. It's like I'm Pisces, but I can easily just write people off. It's like I always kind of have that like I kind of have that wall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always just let like people tell me their whole life story, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't go so deep to a point where I have these like really deep connections, I guess, like
Right.
ongoing.
Yes.
So yeah, so there's definitely some expansion just, for you all out there as you
Mm-hmm.
do your own self.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to self-evaluate what's coming up for you. This is what's coming up for me. I want to lead with this.
Yeah.
These are some things that I know for sure that I'm working on.
Yeah. This is interesting. This area here.
Mm,
So I also do another technique called neuro emotional technique, which would be
interesting.
that's what I really worked on with Jonathan. Mm-hmm.
Ah,
That's where I really shine.
okay.
Um, in the work because it is expanded
Mm,
beyond. I call it network or NET plus.
okay. Love that.
um, because I also have a background in family constellation work,
Okay.
which works with in the multidimensionality of the family
Mm,
system
mm-hmm.
and beyond like time and space.
I love that.
And then I also have a shamanic background.
Wow.
I've been studying that for like the past 9 years with
Okay.
several teachers. And so all of a sudden one day that all sort of just came together.
That's amazing. You've really went down the rabbit hole.
I've really gone down the rabbit hole.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he told me, he's like, I can't really explain on it, but
Hmm.
just have her on the show.
Yeah. Yeah. We, like working with someone like Jonathan, he has, certain things that people have certain things that they want to work on.
Hmm.
And then I have the capacity to like, okay, let's muscle test this because usually things come from different sources,
Mm.
right? And so I can look at like, is this a past life issue? Is this a Is it in the family constellation? Is it, is it a trauma from childhood? And then a lot of times it's all of them.
Wow.
And what I've learned to do is just connect the awarenesses and then clear it all together at the same time.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And that's where I feel like, if you're watching this for a reason. And I don't personally like to be open. right? I don't, there's no specific type of way, whether it's, religious preferences,
Mhm.
what have you. I feel like then it gives you the ability to be open to things like this.
Right.
And I do believe that there's something to be said about past. Some say they like this term or not like this term, past life progression.
Mhm.
I actually went through an exercise where it was pretty interesting, but it made a lot of sense, and hopefully this gives some perspectives out there. I did. I don't know if you know about a guy. He's on YouTube. He's on Instagram. Um, Aaron Doty.
It's not ringing a bell.
So Aaron Doty, he basically Nordstrom's shoe salesperson,
Mhm.
and got out of the rat race, and now he's been enlightened and he's doing a lot of really cool work.
Wow.
And he partners with different people. And he had an event in Los Angeles,
Okay.
and I just did the online one. And so we went through this just past life regression. Literally, this is online. This isn't even in person, which is crazy. It was live though.
Mhm.
And I went through, and next thing you know, I pop up, and I'm like in this field, and it's like during the time of like the Wild Wild West,
Mhm.
and I'm a female, and I'm walking to my house, and I'm pregnant. And as I walk into the house, I have a house, like I guess you could say maid or whatever, and she's
Mhm.
African American.
Mhm.
And the person that I'm with is a outlaw, and he's wanted.
Ah.
And during this time and space in this life, I've been dealing with issues with my throat. So like I will like feel or think that like my throat's gonna get slit, or I've had issues with swallowing, and I've choked on like a peppermint patty when like I got one from like Panda Express, and
Wow.
I had another one when I was like walking home from school in fifth grade, and the kid thought I was laughing when I was like choking on this peppermint patty. So, long story short, guy comes in during this setting and
Mhm.
about to have the child.
Mhm.
I give birth to the child. I cheated on him with the housemate's brother. The baby's black. He slits my throat. I die, kills the baby, and then next thing you know, I wake up from that past life progression.
Wow.
I don't know how that came up, but and I can feel that right now, but that's
Yeah.
what came up in that past life progression. I'm like, whoa.
You're like, well, that explains a few things.
Yeah. Right?
You're like, that, let me clear my throat. Okay. So, right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And,
Yeah.
and the throat thing comes up more too when I don't regulate, and I'm
Mhm.
like just like all day just in the brain space,
Yep.
and meeting after meeting after meeting with the team or expansion or whatever.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, and then I'm like the throat comes up,
Wow.
little things come up like that. So yeah, so that was a thing in my life or past life.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I can definitely help. Um, I don't want to say clear because that's not really technically what I do,
Yeah,
but basically resolve.
yeah. I love that. I love that.
Basically it's like, oh, get complete with that
Yes.
because there is wisdom in that, right?
Oh, for sure.
That's one thing I've learned is like, I'm like, I don't really want to clear things. I want to resolve things because your pain actually is your teacher.
Amen.
And that's where you get your wisdom from. Otherwise,
Mhm.
you keep repeating the same things over and over again until you actually get them.
Definition of insanity.
Right?
Yeah,
Right. Right. Yes.
100%.
Yep.
But just to go to for anyone of you listening out there, like,
Mhm.
for some it could be like, whoa, this is like super far fetched. Like, I don't even know what to believe here.
Right.
And believe what you will. I just feel like if you're not open,
Mhm.
then there's no way to be able to go through some of these modalities to be able to understand something that maybe isn't in a book or isn't
Right.
in a teaching that we were indoctrinated to follow,
Yes.
because they want us to keep us in this body and be the victim. And because I don't know why
Be dependent.
it's sick and twisted that
Mhm.
like and when you go even deeper down the rabbit hole, it's like there is no separation. Like we all are one, and it's just a different of the same.
Yes.
And then it's just like, why would we want to do that to ourselves? But then again, you think to yourself, okay, I get it. Like, we talk to ourselves and look
Right.
bad upon ourselves, and we say we're not good enough and all
Yeah.
the things. But wow.
Yes. I'm so it's awesome that your wife's going right now and having her own Mad Hatter tea party.
Hmm.
I love that. Love it. So I once saw this poster and it was Alice in Wonderland and Dorothy and they were having tea.
Ooh.
And the one says to the other, I see crazy stuff. maybe another four-letter word, but I won't say it here. And I looked at that and I just started laughing because that's so my life. Like I see the most crazy stuff.
I mean, but never a dull moment, man. Congratulations to you. Like that's awesome. Like as crazy as that is, that's awesome
Yeah.
because you're like fulfilling like the prophecy. Like you're doing what you're called to do and you're in alignment with exactly what you're here to do.
Well, it's almost like I get to see the story retold.
Mm.
So sometimes when I work with people and I'll do like we'll say like it's a past life.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy, the stories. I mean, I can't make this stuff up.
Hmm.
My imagination is not that awesome. I mean, it's pretty good, but it's not that awesome and that
Wow.
detailed. Like, I would never have thought. Like, some of the things that I see that people just get entangled with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm just going to be real. Like, black magic is real
I can believe
across,
it.
across a lot of different cultures, a lot of different, like, way back in the day.
Mm.
Like maybe like even like six generations ago, or even like three generations ago.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I had a teacher who would say like, yeah, like back in the day or in Europe, like people would curse each other.
Wow.
They'd go to the local curse maker and like they would curse the family if like let's say there's a boundary issue between the two lands and there's the feuding
Territory.
families and territory and blah blah blah.
Yep.
So they would go to the local curse maker and they would like the curse this person like root, stock, and seed, which means like everyone in every way in all generations until the end of time.
Interesting. So then you detangle some of these things.
I do.
Whoa.
And so I'm pretty sure that I was a curse maker back in the day because I'm like I feel like I'm undoing whatever I did.
Oh, so because the karma,
Yeah, karma,
yeah,
the dharma,
you got
the
to come
dharma.
back and you got to.
Your karma's really your dharma.
Ah,
Yeah, your dharma's your karma.
interesting.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but it's fascinating. Um,
Wow.
and then then those same people would go to the curse maker. The curse maker is making like good money, right? Because like, well, now I'm getting paid to undo the curse, and then I'm getting paid to like curse the other family, and to go back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is a common thing, and so there's people to this day that are like still dealing with that curse that happened like generations ago.
Very interesting.
It's so real, and like the things about black magic, like people who've done black magic in
Mm,
other lifetimes, and how
wow.
it follows them in this lifetime, and you're like, this is more common than not, and I had no idea, and I'm learning a lot about it.
Wow. And the cool thing is too is that just because you're being open to everything and
Mhm,
because this is a part of now your daily life,
mhm.
it's just organically coming about.
Right, and it really, I mean, you're like, oh, I mean, I try to like keep a neutral perspective about it. Like I'm just witnessing, like as if I'm watching a movie video in front of me, just unravel and as to
Mm,
why this person is having the issue that they're having. And so I just see the story play out.
okay.
And my only job really is just to witness the story.
So that way you can keep the separation to
Mhm.
not really embody and just you just witness. I like that.
Yeah, I just witnessed the story. And so I'm like, oh, okay, that's what happened. Because a lot of times just witnessing the story will start to unravel it
Mm,
because it just needs to be known.
mm-hmm,
Because a lot of these things were like, swept under the rug for behind closed
mm,
doors in a vaulted whatever.
yeah.
And so for the story to
Wow.
actually be seen and someone to witness it and to see it already starts the healing process.
Amazing.
I mean, there's more to
Beautiful.
it than that, but like that's a good way to say like how it starts to unravel. And I feel like that's actually one of the most biggest secret ingredients to all healing is that we need a witness. That's why it's like you can do so much on your own, but really the healing really happens like the whole idea of like when two or more are gathered.
Mm-hmm,
It's having the witness
mm-hmm,
and that space of like seeing something
mm.
without any judgment. It's just to unfold.
Yeah. It's as simple as like guys out there listening to your wives.
Right.
See her,
Yeah, see
listen
her.
to her,
Hmm.
understand, like
Yeah.
be happy for her, all the things,
Yeah.
which is a huge, huge deal. And so I'm curious, you talked earlier in the show about going to and doing more with the women's retreat.
Yes.
Are you seeing that like I mean, obviously you're a woman, makes sense. And are you seeing something with women? Because what I see just with a few women, just in my direct wife, right,
Yeah.
mother-in-law, like
Mm-hmm.
um, entanglement. I see
Mm-hmm.
entanglement, and I understand women deal with obviously way more than men when it comes to birth, hormones, right? That time of the month, the whole nine.
Yeah.
So are you seeing something with women that really gives you that calling to try to help them with the entanglement? Hence why you are going to serve
Mm.
the women with these retreats. I'm curious.
Really good question. Sometimes I just fall into things.
Really?
Like I just like I just see the gap and like the need for the service
Yeah.
and I just fill the gap.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's that easy. It's not that I think about it that much. I'm just like, maybe we should just do this thing and then we just try it on and then it works and then like wow, like people really need this and like So really like I am taking the gifts that I have.
Yeah.
And my friend also, she has many gifts. She's an amazing singer. Oh my gosh, she's like an angel.
Wow.
And she's also, she like your wife, she does sound healing.
Ah,
And we like to do cacao ceremony because we live in Sedona.
I love it.
So everybody loves cacao ceremonies there.
Yeah, that's how I've been here.
And probably here too. And so we just, and then just being out on the land there is
Mm-hmm.
so healing, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's so magical.
It is.
And so it's almost like an idea whose time has come. And I've just wanted to take like all of these things that I've had the experience of, or these gifts
Mm-hmm.
that I've had, and like synthesize them,
Yeah.
put them all together, and in perhaps like a different package.
I love that. I love that. I think what's coming up for me, um, two part to that question, and I just got this download, is that there's been the ideology of the man being the one who's in control and power and that type of stuff. And I feel like it's really the women. The
Mm.
women are the ones that are the one in power. The women are the ones that really understand things from a completely different perspective than men. Men are just supposed to serve, protect. We're not supposed to, be in power or do the control thing. And I can imagine you're helping women get to that next place so they can become the leaders they're destined to be for the generations to come.
I yes, and I think in order to really be a woman leader is is the place that we really, as a woman, I can't speak for all women,
Mm,
but I can speak from coming through some experiences of being a woman, quote unquote, in a man's world
mm,
and realizing like I tried to do the man thing and it's not really working for me. And it's actually leaving me burned out and not really satisfied and not getting the results that I want.
mm,
And I realized like I've been going at it the wrong way. And what I really, really want to do is I really want to soften.
mm.
And I really want to like connect to my own rhythms that are natural to, to my cycles or,
Yes.
in and out. And just I really want to honor those and I want to remember those because there's not a lot of space in our Western society for that.
Mm,
And so for me, like it's an opportunity for men to get together and to remember what it's like to just soften into our little creature bodies and to sing together and to
yes.
hold space and be in presence and just to fill up our own cup
Yes.
instead of like doing this and doing that and taking care of this and taking care of that and wondering why we don't have any energy at the end of the day and why we feel so flat and why we feel so empty. And women, if we're really in our power and our feminine,
Mm,
we really want to fill up our own cup
mm.
because that's where the magic is. And instead of like trying to be a trying to prove like trying to prove myself or prove my self-worth, just remember that I'm already worthy. Even if I didn't have children, which I didn't in this lifetime, I still am a life carrier,
Yeah.
a water carrier,
Yeah.
and that's the most sacred. And but we've been conditioned out of that,
Mm,
and I think all of us would be happier,
mm-hmm,
men and women,
mm-hmm.
if women could remember that.
Let's go. Let's go.
Hmm.
I'm glad that went a little deeper to then beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, 100%. 100%. We need the balance. It's so out of whack. And it's just like, dude, like guys, relax. I mean, for me too, like, yeah, I'm a man. My aunt raised me, my grandmother raised me, I've been around women. The whole house is women. My daughter, my wife, our housemate, and now we actually have an Anna staying here. And she was also adopted, and she was from Russia. Yes, and she's blind. She's amazing. I said, you need to be on the show, but she's like, I don't know about that. She's more conservative. But yeah, it's so true. It's so true, and it's a blessing. And for me, coming from a man's perspective, and this would just be a little interesting segment for a second, but I was always like, man, why are we segregating? And then my wife went to a retreat in Sedona. It was all women, and I was just like, why are we segregating and this and that? And then she's like, well, the space and the women feel comfortable with women outside of men and yada yada yada. And we'll see. It'd be interesting to see. Eventually, I can imagine there'll be space for both to come together and coalesce. But there's also the men's retreat as well, and I'm definitely not really like I never really been that like man's man. I don't really care for sports. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't talk.
But it's interesting that we associate that with being a man's man.
Right?
I don't associate that with being a man's man.
Ooh, I like to hear your take on it.
No, I think what you and Jonathan do, that's a man's man.
Ooh, let's go.
No, a man's man is a man who's in his purpose.
I
Not
like that.
not drinking beer and watching sports and like, "Ugh." That's not the alpha male
Ooh.
for me. My dad and my
Mhm.
uncle, they were alpha males.
Really?
And they were the men. They didn't talk a lot. They
Mhm.
just walked the talk. They didn't make promises they couldn't keep. They just got it done. Like, and at the end of the day, they didn't bring home their stuff with them. That to me is a man's man.
I love that. I love that. I'm right there with you. And I only bring home wins. That's all I bring home.
Yeah.
I'm like, honey, we did it.
Yeah.
We're serving another client. Let's go.
Woohoo!
He's got another amazing podcast guest. Like, let's go. Like,
To me, a man's man is the one who wants to be of service. Those are the men that I'm always looking for, and like I have my eye out for.
wow.
Like I remember this wonderful man Adam who crossed over a while ago. But when I would ever go to an event somewhere in San Francisco, he was always right there at the door greeting everyone. And he'd be like, Anna! And his partner's name was Jen Cat. And he'd like, come. And he'd take my coat and take whatever I had. And he would help me and it'd make me feel super welcome. And I was like, Adam was so beloved. So when he crossed over, it was a huge loss in the community. And like, so those are the people that I'm always looking out for.
God bless.
And those are the people that I always want to get their back.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Because they're serving the community. And that's what I see as a man's man.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the recognition, and it means a lot. And it's interesting because there is that stigma. It's like if you're not, in the gym and sports and beer and this and that. And I think that's kind of what the perception is from a mass perspective. But I do see that as now being what's to come and the next evolution. And that's why I'm doing the best I can to show up like that and to be able to show individuals like, hey, like, it's okay.
It's okay. Well, and we don't have this figured out. Like everyone thinks that there's this that we have this guidebook and you're not following the rules and like, oh my gosh. Like it's just so silly. And if we just were to take off all the labels and like all the political correctness and all the things and just actually just like, oh hi human. You're a human just doing the best that you can with what you have and if you're willing to make mistakes and you're willing to like admit that like I'm just a human but here I am showing up the best I can, then I'm okay to give space to that and be like, okay, that's cool. You don't have to have it all figured out.
Yes.
You don't have to be perfect.
Yes.
It's like, can we stop like why are we giving ourselves so much like beyond like impossibility to live up to?
I love that. It's just be perfectly unperfect.
Perfectly imperfect, yes.
Yes, because you don't need to be any certain type of way, and it just is what it is. Like you're ringing the doorbell, I'm still in a meeting, the wife greets you, you guys have an amazing conversation. I don't stress about it. I bring you in like a pro, and you sit down and do the show. You don't have to sit there and make it extra complicated.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm waiting here. You told me to come in early, and no, that was AAA Anna, like 20 some odd years ago. But I'm not that person anymore.
That's awesome. There you go. That's a great example of the difference of AAA
Yeah.
and who you are now.
Yeah, now I have like a new best friend practically.
Yeah, I think you two definitely gonna vibe out really well
Oh
with
yeah.
each other, and
We're already like, I see you, I see you, I see you.
we're BFS now.
We're BFFs now, and we're already talking about collaboration. I'm like, yes.
You know what's interesting? It's very interesting because like the serendipitous nature of the fact that you met her from a perspective of like, and obviously you'll talk. Yesterday was very rock bottom, and today was like very top of the mountain. So she's
Nice.
over the mountain today, and she is sometimes wound up just because of the nature of the family. She's generations, and so it's awesome. Like I think both of us can learn a lot and be able to explore opportunities with you, and it's awesome that you had that opportunity because like you said, and like you heard early in the show, nothing needs to be said, but your presence is what did what you needed to do for her.
We always speak with our presence before we say one word when we enter the room.
Yeah, I love that.
Mhm.
And that's what it's funny. Ever since I was a kid, I was just like, I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
When you walk in the room, you're like, who's that guy?
Yeah. You are that guy.
Aw,
I can already tell.
aw.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. It's a process for sure. It definitely is a process for sure. And like walking your own lane,
Mhm.
because when you come from like the world of business, there's the business stigma, the stigma of that, and then building a company in the real estate marketing space and the digital space. It's interesting. You feel the competition from the other ones and the way that it's supposed to be. And I had a mentor who was like, "This is how it's supposed to be," and took a company public, cashed out, whatever. Um, and I said, "No, I don't like that supposed to be," and I went in a different direction. And then
It doesn't feel right.
not at all. And the crazy thing is, we got a download, my wife and I. And if y'all don't know, there's a new wave of CEOs coming about, and the new CEOs are encompassing the process of just wholeness and open door policies and not the stuffy, even though I'm the bow tie suit guy, not the stuffy bow tie suit guy, no, and just being able to be more holistic approach with it all. And so I'm very grateful to say that I am going to be one of those individuals to then innovate not just an industry from real estate for industry standard, but also innovate the way that corporate models and structures have been structured over the eons.
Yeah, it's so time for an upgrade.
Right?
So beyond time for an upgrade.
And the wife got a download on that. She got a download, and she's like, I see you from the spiritual side and the soft, elegant, like you talked about, with the feminine, and then the masculine, and tying that together with the corporate, and just. So I don't know what it's still unraveling. I have no idea how it's all going to come together over time, but
Yeah.
it's fun.
It's so fun. And it's so fun when you can just like, so what are your gifts? What resources do you bring to the table?
Mm.
Instead of like, you're a man, you're a woman, like blah blah blah, you're like from this place. I mean, we would do so much better if we could just quit the labels because it's a divisive mechanism. I'm just gonna call a spade a spade.
I,
You know,
I love that.
and I'm like, at the end of the day, we all want the same things.
Yes.
We want to be loved. We want to be of service. We want to live our purpose. We want to have a roof over our head. We want to have clean water to drink, fresh air to breathe, and good like organic or good food to eat. I mean, and a good place to raise our children and the best way possible. Like at the end of the day, we all want the same things.
Yeah.
And so it's like if we can stop nitpicking from like, this side versus that side and da da da, and just realize that that is all by design.
Hey, yeah,
To keep us separated and disempowered.
yeah,
Because if we're fighting each other, we won't be looking upstream to where the toxin is actually coming from. Because we're fighting each other thinking it's each other, but it's really coming upstream. So if we can come together as humanity
yeah.
and in our gifts and in our service, and we could just see each other and like connect, then we wouldn't need like all these division politics. We wouldn't even need politicians. Okay, we
Yeah.
probably even wouldn't need government, and we wouldn't need borders
Yep.
because we would just have each other. Because they're all invisible lines drawn anyway.
Mm.
They're not real.
It's funny you say that, and I 100% agree. And it's interesting from the perspective of like, do you have your real ID? Because if you're going to be traveling to the next state, or like, the passport and all the things. And I'm just like, what? Because like, what came up for me, because our team, we go to the Philippines. My team's in the Philippines. And
Cool.
so we were in Bohol last year. We had two of our team members who got their 10 year, and they were just here 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And our longest member is about 5 years now. Shout out to Vitz. We never got you on the show if you're watching this. And it's interesting to get the different perspectives of the drastic culture from going to Korea and the Philippines and
Yeah.
in Asian countries to like here in the United States. And man, talk about divisiveness and talk about indoctrination as far as
Mm-hmm.
like I mean even in the Filipino culture, if you're Filipino, you know what's up. I mean, it's like the parents now are like looking at the kids like, okay, so what you got for me? And it's just like, whoa,
Right.
like calling like Vitz, I call her my work wife, is inside joke. And it's like, not even how are you doing? It's just like, so I need my medical, I need some pills, I need this, I need like, whoa, like what happened to like, hi, how are you doing? And it was so unfortunate that like Vitz's rich grandfather, he owned sugarcane fields.
Wow.
And so he caught wind that she was coming to America. And then her cousin, we went to her house. Her cousin's actually one of her cousins over in Scottsdale.
Mhm.
And then he actually cut off the money supply to his own mother, thinking that now the granddaughter's going to take the responsibility because she came to America. Like, what? What kind of
Wow.
ideology is that?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Very unfortunate. So, so in America, we have a lot to work on for sure.
Yeah.
But like in countries like the Philippines, it
Right.
is there. It is so strict to the point where it's just like, whoa, like,
Mm-hmm.
and they are so indoctrinated to the point where like, hey, Rain, you're editing this. I love you, man. We do our check-in once a month. They don't even want to speak up. They don't even want to like in the meetings. We're like, hey, please speak up. It's okay. Tell us your thoughts. Tell us what you want to do. And it's always ma'am, sir, ma'am, sir. I'm like, we don't say ma'am, sir anymore. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
gone.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
please tell us what you need and where you want to go. So we do the vision board, the money motivation,
Mm-hmm.
and completely trying to, not trying, but we are changing the construct of the ideologies
Wow.
that's been handed down generations through generations.
Right.
Yeah. My wife said out of all the countries she's traveled, the Philippines was one of the most strict she's ever been in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's unfortunate because we're doing it to ourselves from the perspective of these borders and
Mm-hmm.
these lines. And then you see all this divisiveness and
Mm-hmm.
then people getting upset about whatever. And at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, it doesn't really make too much of a difference.
Nope.
Taking labels to them, they, let's take it to a whole other level, right? It's like no
Right.
non-binary, them, they, no more boy, no more girl. It's just like, okay, let's just give some more. It's just like, add some more to the pot.
It just feels like a distraction.
It does.
It's all a distraction. It's like none of that at the end of the day really matters.
Okay, let me ask you this. How much of these distractions are you starting to see that you have to unravel when you go through the modalities that you do? Does that come up?
So far, no.
Oh, it hasn't.
No, probably because I just don't attract those kind of people because
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I usually attract people that are wanting to make a difference
Already past that.
or past like the um not that I don't have compassion because people do have trauma and so their way to sort of find what I really see is like I see these people and they have a trauma
Hmm.
and they don't have a sense of self and so this is their way to identify but it's not really authentic.
Got it.
I'm just going to be honest.
Got it.
it's it's what, the world has deemed now, or whatever is deemed now, like this is the acceptable thing, and you're given attention for it.
Mm,
And so someone's finally paying attention to you, even if it's negative attention.
mm.
And I'm like, it's not really the attention that we want,
Yeah,
because it's not really us being seen.
yeah.
And I mean, granted, like there are legitimate people who do feel like they are a certain person of their sex trapped in the opposite sex, but those are, few and far between. But we don't have to go down that road.
Yeah.
The idea, though, is just like at the end of the day, like how do you, like what really matters? Like, how do you want to express yourself in a way that you're making a difference in humanity?
I love that.
How are you moving the point forward to help evolve humanity,
Mm,
to get us out of this rat race, or to get us out of this like fight or flight, freeze, fawn
yeah, yeah.
experience. And it's like,
Mm.
and I think a lot of it has to do with like, you have to be, I'm a little bit of a rebel.
You do. Amen. Air
Yeah.
high five. Yeah, I'm right there with you, and it's very enlightening because even just hearing you and going through this experience, it's interesting because it's giving more clarity just to me in general
Yes.
as far as like kind of it reminds me of the story earlier when you said you were kind of going down the rabbit hole and
Mhm.
you're connecting the dots.
Yes.
This is giving me that opportunity to do the same, and I'm doing it with you
Yeah. Doing
live.
it together.
We're doing it together,
We're doing it
bro.
together.
Yes.
I'm a woman of color. You're a white man, like white, whatever, cis male.
Yeah.
And here we are talking on a podcast,
I know.
like we're longtime friends.
And we honestly just met. Haven't even
Right?
talked or anything. But
Mhm.
I do like pulling that card. I
Yeah.
like the big watches, the flashiness, like
Yeah.
as you can tell.
Yeah.
I love that. And
It's
then
so
and
good.
then and then you switch it and you're like, what? Hold on, this guy's way more deeper than how he looks. Because people
Right.
judge people. They say, oh, because you
Right.
have the supercar, or you have the big house, or you have the whatever.
Yeah.
It's then there's that stereotypical. So I love playing that card.
Oh man, I love playing that card too.
Right?
So, coming from Washington D.C., there's like it's like the biggest melting pot ever, right?
Yeah.
And so, people are from all around the world, from different countries, speak different languages, or diplomats, like like all these heads of state, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I go to Atlanta, Georgia,
Mm.
and that was such a cultural shock for me,
Wow.
the coming from Washington D.C., because um, you have the black people and you have the white people, and they obviously have a history,
Yeah.
and they're not too fond of each other,
Yeah.
they each have walls against each other. And then it's like you don't really want to be Latin either, because they're not, like, that's like a not a respected thing. It was the first time in my life that I actually played the Asian card,
Oh,
because it
really?
was like the safe, neutral
Like
thing to
I'm in
be.
between here.
I'm in between, because people would always ask me, like, so where are you from? Now, if they asked you that question, what would you say?
I
Where are you
mean,
from?
I keep it pretty real. I just say I'm California. And in Arizona too. When I say
Mhm.
California, I have had some people say like, "Oh," but I'm like, I'm one of the cool ones.
Yes.
That's usually what I'll say. Like,
Right, but you said California. You said a state, right?
yeah.
Well, that's how I would answer the question, but that's not what they meant.
Uh,
There's like, where are you from? Like, what's your nationality? We
uh,
don't know what box to put you in. And so it
interesting.
was very weird. I'm like, I'm from Michigan, because I was born and raised in Michigan. They're like, no, 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 no. Like, what's your what's your heritage? I'm like, oh, you're asking me that. I would make them work for it. I knew what they were going for after a
Hey,
while,
you go, girl.
but I'd make them work for it.
I love that.
Because, like I said, I'm a little bit of a rebel. I mean, I grew up with waspy parents from the Midwest,
Yeah.
white Anglo-Saxon Protestant,
Yeah.
German farmer, like
Yeah.
Scottish, teacher.
Yeah.
And so I know how to think that way. I was brought up that way. I didn't quite look that way, but I'm like a bridge, between these two worlds.
Yeah.
And then like that's why I say, like, at the end of the day, like, I grew up with these people.
Yeah.
They're good people.
Yeah.
They're kind-hearted people. Um, and so I mean, not to say that whatever people think certain things, and there's always that, but there's always that all across the board
Yeah.
with any culture.
Yeah.
It's not just a certain color of skin type.
Hmm.
And I've been to like 30 plus countries.
Wow.
So, yeah, at the end of the day, like I said, like, y'all really want to just connect.
We do want to connect, and it's interesting that we as humans, is this you? Do you know someone who's like this? Like,
Hmm.
it's almost like they're trying to go through like a file cabinet in their brain where they're asking those questions to
Yeah.
specifically put you into a certain file.
Yeah.
And it's like that is so much extra brain
Hmm.
like information
Hmm.
overload, like storage. Stop it. Like, why would you waste your time? But people want to do that because it's
Sure.
just their past programming. It's all
Yeah.
they know.
Yeah. So I try not to even entertain it because to me, it's like, it's just divisiveness
Yeah.
and it's not connecting us. And I'm
Yes.
here to connect. Like, I'm here to help people connect to themselves
Mm-hmm.
so that they can connect to their purpose and so they can
Mm-hmm.
connect to others.
Mm-hmm.
So they can be like a person that like is loving and like is easy to love. And so, that's where I like to go with that.
I think the best, I guess, if you were to like have like a picture of like what that looks like
Mhm.
for religion states, I would say
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Mhm. Yeah.
Jesus, just
He's a really great hippie,
that's it.
right?
Yeah,
Just love one another.
that's
Above all
it.
else, love one another.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. I even love that quote, like, and all of these things I do, you shall do and more. I'm like, how come that's not like blasted across every, self-help
Yes.
everything? I mean,
Yes.
that was like the most empowering statement in the whole entire book, in my humble opinion.
Well, I don't know. It's a lot of questions you can't answer. Like my wife and I were like, why aren't all street signs just positive names? That would be cool.
Right?
Like you rock lane. That'd be cool. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Right way lane. I don't know,
Right
like,
way. Right way lane.
like my
Uh-huh.
my my brother or not my brother, my father-in-law and mother-in-law, they actually have a cool name called Lucky Lane they live on.
Lucky lane.
Like that's freaking dope. You know what I'm
Right?
saying? So like I don't know, like it'd be so cool to live in a life in a world heaven on earth now and we can
Yes.
have that. And that's something that
Right.
I'm committed to. Eventually I'll have the Liftoff merch. I want to have
Mhm.
all positive quotes and sayings, just like cars. If they're just like so stuffy, you're like, why is it white, black, or gray? It's like, can we have purple? Can we have
Mhm.
pink? Can we have
Right?
yellow? Can we have
Right?
stuff that makes you be like, whoa?
Mhm.
Because even if you can't afford a nice freaking supercar, but you can at least have a bright one.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've seen those lime green ones. Those are great. Yeah,
Yes,
I'm like, wow. Like they just stick out.
they do stick out. That's me. I like that type of stuff. But no, that's cool. I'm glad
Uh-huh.
that like there needs to be
Yeah.
there needs to be
Why be
more
everybody else
use.
when you can just be you?
Yeah.
Everyone else is taken, so be you. That's actually the name of a book.
Is it really?
Hmm.
I like
I
that.
met that author a long time ago. I don't remember their name, but I was like, yeah, that's great. That's a great line, or that's a great title for the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep it super simple,
Uh-huh.
and that's where I feel like if there's anything you take from today's episode, it's just like keep it super simple. Doesn't need to be that complicated. Everyone's trying to make things like
Hmm.
it's like no.
No, no. And then just regulate your nervous system. Want to do the world a favor? Just please regulate your nervous system. Be someone that's easy to be around.
Yes,
Because
Mother Nature, our world, our air, our water, everything will be in more homeostasis if more of us can take what we're talking about today
right.
and apply it to your life.
Yes.
It's just one. Like they say 1% better.
Hmm.
It's like one of you.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If
Right.
one person a day was just to like start getting some enlightenment, regulate their systems, and
Right.
then next thing you know, to be like, whoa,
Right.
dude, why is it so light? Why is it so airy? Holy cow,
Yes.
what's changed?
Yeah. I wanted to
Uh,
actually go back to that place where you said your stomach hurts.
yes.
So in the Chinese system,
Okay.
that would be earth.
Uh,
And so earth is like, it's like, what are you like disgusted about, or what are you like, what can't you stomach? That's where that comes from. And then it's
interesting.
connected over to on your left side here, which is your pancreas and your spleen.
Got it.
which is also like which is self-esteem
Okay.
area.
Okay.
And then this is like about like sort of taking on other people's
Mm.
like sort of being empathic and sort of taking on like stuff that's not really yours or like uh-huh.
I can see that. I can see that. Maybe
Mhm.
holding on to things because of the fact that like I do a lot of like monthly check-ins and I meet different people and have one-on-ones and I hear where they're at and I listen to what they have going on. I see them.
Mhm.
But yeah, I can see that, it could be easy to take in that.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's like your superpower, but it's like how do you manage and I would love someday to put together a course about energetic hygiene
Mm.
because that's been a night and day difference for me as a super empath.
Okay. You heard it here first.
Yeah. So it's just like how to set up your energy so you're not so that you can still feel them, but through like almost like a membrane, if you will, an energetic membrane,
Yes.
without taking it on.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, you're not like just like ugh, I need like 2 more days to just recover.
It's interesting because I do feel like in my world, I'm surrounded by a lot of very powerful energy
Hmm.
from the perspective, and it could be from lack, it could be from anxiety, it
Hmm.
could be from a multitude of things,
Yeah.
and it's coming from the family, a little my side and the wife's side,
Hmm.
and I married into it now, and so it's like it's interesting and the best thing this is the best story, hopefully it can help someone out there, is that my brother-in-law, what's up, James? He's amazing. All come from love here, and he likes to move a lot, right? Life's happens, he's going through it, he's learning, whatever. And so he calls up the wife and says, "Hey, I need your help." And he calls up on 4th of July weekend. 4th of July weekend, we're going up north. This is Thursday,
Hmm.
taking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And oh yeah, we're gonna go out of town. We'll see what's up. Yada yada yada. Okay. So Sunday morning rolls around, 6:30 in the morning, waking us up. Hey, about the moving, blah blah blah, right? And so my wife takes on the responsibility. She's gonna go help him, whatever else. And I said, you know what? I could sit here and I could be like, man, James, fifth time in 6 months, and why can't you figure your shit out and all that type of stuff. I said, you know what? That's not my place to judge. I
Right.
love him. I appreciate him. He'll figure it out. So how about I just show up with love and just go and just help out and say nothing and just be who I am?
Yeah.
And I did. And you know what he said? Oh my God, Norm, you're so good at this. And you guys are just great at moving and packing. And thanks so much. And then he gave us dinner this week. He's like, oh, please let me give you guys dinner and to thank you and everything else. And so
Aw.
it turned from like, and if you have someone like this in your family
Mhm.
that you feel like it's certain type of way, like, you're feeling, oh, the burden, blah, blah, blah. But if you just let it go,
Mm.
it can come back as positive. It was amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It, yeah, sometimes it's just making that little,
Yeah.
the tiny, like you said, that 1 degree shift. Boom.
Well, it kept coming up.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I'm not insane.
Right?
I'm not going to go down the insane path.
You're like, I can see your pattern. And obviously, you can't see the forest under the trees, but I guess I can't judge you because you can't see it.
How can exactly, dude? That is so smart. That is
Mhm.
so like, like,
Oh,
yeah, because that's the thing.
yeah.
If you're out there and you feel like you're trying to judge something from a perspective that the other party can't even see, and
Mhm.
they're not willing to take your advice or you aren't able to help them,
Right.
the best way to help them is to just show up for them.
Right. It's simple, not always easy.
Oh no, it took
Because
a
you're
couple
just,
years.
because a lot of times you're just like, you know, palm to forehead.
Just like, oh my God, really? Is this happening right now? But it's interesting
Mhm.
because, like, say for instance, like my wife and I were cycle breakers. We're the only people in our family
Mhm.
to be doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so they're like, what? Like my mom's like, what? Like, why do you need a $200,000 car? It's like, why do you need this house? Like, why do you? I'm confused. And so she doesn't get it.
Uh-huh.
And then, well, I want to help more people.
Mhm.
I want a bigger platform to do more. And, I want to hire 100 Filipinos. I want 15,000 agents to serve. I want a
Mhm.
$300 million exit. Why? Why the hell not?
Why the
We
heck not?
live
Yeah.
we live once. It's Monopoly. I don't know. The real life game Monopoly. I love Monopoly. If you haven't seen all the Monopoly pieces, like the one
Yeah,
over
it's so
there.
cool. Yeah, it's
If
super
your
cool.
circle doesn't inspire you, you don't have a circle. You have a cage. So thank you for
Oh,
welcome to my circle.
I love it.
You're very inspiring. And
So are
so
you.
thank you. And so it's just like It's like, and so at the end of the day, it's just one of those things where it's like, all right, well, it is what it is. Like, just do the best you can to just
Mhm.
show up and just come from love and just show up. That's it. And then they
Right.
see it, and then like he invited us over for dinner.
Mhm.
We were having a conversation. He's like, oh, one day I want to get my car, blah blah. I was like, you remember that conversation I had with you about like 2.5 years ago? I said I was going to get my car.
Mhm.
He's like, yeah. I said, it's right there.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just to give him an extra little encouragement, like, dude,
Right.
what you say can come to reality. Like,
Yes.
think and grow rich.
Yes.
Whatever your mind can't conceive, believe, and I put in feel, it
Yeah.
can achieve.
Right.
World's
Feels
word
the biggest one.
feel it's not in that comment. It's not in that
Mhm.
quote. So that's why I added feel.
Yeah.
And every night I tell my daughter that quote, and I add she'll be helping millions of people. I've been
Nice.
telling that for 6 years straight before she goes to bed, every single night.
Good job in like imprinting that.
Oh, it's imprinted,
It's
bro.
imprinted.
But she's still stubborn as hell,
Mhm.
and she always, oh, why do I have to do chores? I don't want to grow up. The whole nine
Oh,
yards.
being a kid.
Thanks,
She's
thanks,
being a kid.
thanks for the reminder.
That's her job.
The wife reminds me as well.
That's her job to give you a hard time.
Like, dude, what is
Yeah.
the deal here,
Yeah.
dude?
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
feel it. I feel you.
yeah,
Yeah, that happened to me just a little while ago.
really.
You know, helping someone else out. Um, and you know what? Honestly, I feel blessed, right? I feel
Mhm.
blessed to be in a position to be able to be helpful.
Yes.
Like there's something about that. So, and it's not that you're better, but you just like it's like for me, it was a milestone to realize. For example, I just went to a ceremony. I was telling your wife that I go to these ceremonies
Hmm.
through the Native American church.
Okay.
And there was this gentleman, and he had this really big, grandiose idea,
Huh.
right? Like, even put his money where his mouth was, the whole 9 yards, all the things. And so it's easy to get behind that, right? It's a big vision, all the things, da da da. It's got that momentum. It comes from a good place.
Yeah.
But there's something like, okay, I'm going to call this discernment versus judgment.
Got it.
But there was a place where there was a disconnect that I saw.
Hmm.
And that was it's like, he was putting together the ceremony, but he didn't have like the resources to do so, and so he was like relying on other people to show up for him. When
Hmm.
really that was his place to do it
Hmm.
because it's his prayer.
Hmm.
And I'm like, well, interesting. But and like Spirit was like, well, this is a big prayer and it needs some help. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm actually in a position right now that I can be of service. I have the knowledge of like 20 plus years of doing this. I'm still new to the way I'm not any expert by any ways, but I'm like, I know how to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to have these like what we call the morning sacreds. And so that's like
Mm.
water, corn, berries, and meat.
Okay.
And it's buffalo. A lot of times it's buffalo or deer meat.
Okay.
And it's a certain way that you prepare it and this whole thing and blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. And I'm like, he's like, oh, well, I was just thinking that we could just do like fruit and chia seed pudding. And I'm like, bro, this is a Navajo Dene ceremony. That's not going to fly. You need to talk to the guy who's running the show and ask him about it. But I'm pretty sure it's this because that's what's tradition. It's actually part of the ceremony itself.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, but he was clueless. He had never done this before.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that being a thing. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh my God, I would really love it if you could help me. And I'm like, well, bro, like, you know, this is this is not this is like a couple $100.
Yeah.
And usually that's supposed to be on you, but he's like, I don't have any money. I'm selling furniture, blah, blah, blah. And I'm
Mm.
like, you know what? I just happen to have gone to Costco and I have all these extra packages in my freezer. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to do it.
Mm.
I'm just going to do it because it's like, I know that there's a lot of heavy hitters coming and a lot of people coming from a lot of different, far, far away.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing this not just for this man, but I'm doing it for the elders and I'm doing it for the love of this ceremony because I know it saved my life a million times. And so
Mm.
I can't pay it back, so I'm just going to pay it forward.
Ooh.
And I have to tell you, I put in the money. He gave me like maybe $30. You know what I mean? Towards that, and it was like probably 250 at the end of the day. But I'm not here to I'm not about the accounting, but um, but I also understand, like, when you work with spirit and you
Mm,
follow directions,
mhm.
this is going to come back to me tenfold.
Yes.
And yes, it has.
Wow.
And yes, it has. And then some.
Let's go. You know, my wife and I say,
Yeah.
every dollar we spend, we get 10 in return.
Mhm.
You know, and it is what it is. You know, and I think that more of you out there, if we all just come together and just say it's okay,
Yeah.
just show up. You know, show up. You never know how it's gonna come back, and
Yeah.
don't expect anything, and
Right.
then
Totally. That's the key.
yeah, and then see what happens. And so after our show, I'm gonna get picked up by my mother-in-law,
Mhm.
and we haven't really like had a lot of one-on-one, especially in the car for an hour or
Oh.
30, 40 minutes, whatever. We're going to go to Paradise Valley area.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting just to come from love and just see what comes up because I know she's
Mm.
going through some things with, you know, it's one thing when you know something
Mhm.
and the other person knows that you know that's something, but the
Yeah.
other person doesn't want to ask you
Yeah.
anything about that something.
You're like, can we talk about the white elephant in the middle of the room?
Yeah, could probably give you some help. But you know, you don't want to say anything. You're just
Yeah.
like, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see, you know, where we'll go, what have you, and I'm curious to see what you all took from this episode.
Right. Like we went down a lot of different avenues today.
We really did, which
Mm.
is cool because I wanted, you know, first off, I want to go down the rabbit hole in the modalities that you
Mhm.
are preaching. I think that's going to be very fitting for where I'm at. I'm feeling that as an alignment.
Mhm.
I think my wife also as well. I'm already envisioning for my birthday back in March, we went up and just stayed in a teepee in Sedona. There's one
Nice.
on Airbnb, and I'm like, go back to that teepee, go see Anna. I'm liking this. So that's something going to be in the future. I think that I would like to have, like to know if you all want to have Anna back, but I would like to also have you back after going through the process of working with you and just being able to give some different enlightenment to those out there. Because one thing that I've been doing and I'm committed to, I've had this calling and I've done some channel writing and I've done a lot of videos in the world of like motivational whatever.
Yeah.
And now I'm like staying consistent every single day, and I'll never stop until like the day I die, I guess. But I would like to broaden the capacity and the inspect my how I expand in expansion, so that way I can be able to do more, give more, and be more.
Yes.
So
Yes. I can help you with that.
let's go.
Got a nice specialty.